Okay, so I was telling that chapter 7 is actually dealing with those parameters, those indicators which actually help us to measure or calculate economic development. So I hope you people have understood that what actually we are going to study in this chapter. We are going to study in this chapter that how we measure, what are the method or index we use to measure economic development. Okay, now economic development is measured by there are two you can say parameters or indicators are there which help us to measure the economic development. Okay, now all of you open your book, chapter number 7, the first page. All of you just see the first page. First paragraph, you leave it. The second paragraph, you see several indicators have been used in recent years to indicate economic development. Several indicators are being used by several economists. Several indicators, so several parameters are being used by several economists, all right, to calculate economic development. But the main indicators of economic development are classified into two categories. The main indicators are classified into two categories. You see the two categories. The first one, income-based measure. When we calculate economic development by the help of income, by the help of income means which income? National income. That is the first way with the help of which we calculate the economic development. And second one, those indicators of economic development which measures economic development in terms of quality of life. Okay, means they don't see that what is the national income of the country. That is the first category, that we measure economic development which is income based. Which one we have studied this income based economic indicator. We have studied, means where we measure economic development. We have studied economic growth, and we have studied the various stages of economic growth. And I told you that economic growth actually is the study of increase in real per capita income. We have done in chapter 6, if you remember. And how we measure per capita income? National income. And national income has two aggregate, GNP and GDP. And then which is the real indicator to calculate national income? GNP. That we have studied. In the process of economic growth, I have given you the different stages. Is it clear? So, first you need to understand that several indicators or parameters are being used by many economists to indicate economic development. But those parameters or indicators are basically classified into two categories. The first category, where we measure economic development whose base is income, which is called income-based parameter or measure of economic development. What is the second one? Second one is the quality of life. Quality, on the basis of quality of life of the people of the country, we measure economic development. That is the second base. Okay, such as there are two index under that. First one is physical quality of life index, that is PQLI, which is not in your syllabus. And second one is human development index, which we need to study. Is it clear to all of you? Now see both the point. What is the first base? Income-based measure of development, and which consists of what? Per capita income. When we measure economic development in terms of per capita income, then we call it income-based measure of economic development. Is it clear? What is the second? When we measure economic development in terms of quality of life, then we have two measures. One is physical quality of life index, that is PQLI, and second one is human development index, that is HDI. These are the two classification which shows the parameter of economic development. Is it clear to all of you? So after that, you see, we shall explain here two most important indicators of economic. And which are the two? The first one is income based, that is per capita income index. And second one is human development. So two parameters we need to study under this chapter, children. The first parameter is per capita income index, and the second parameter is economic development index. Is it clear to all of you? So till here, I think you people have studied, you people have understood that what actually we are going to study under this chapter. Under this chapter, we are going to study the various measures of economic development. Under this chapter, we are going to study the various indicators or the parameters of measuring economic development. And I told you that there are we classify the parameters into two categories. One is income-based measure of economic development. And what is the name of that? Per capita income index. And second is quality of life measure of economic development. And there are two index in that is physical quality of life index and human development index. In your chapter, to measure economic development, in your syllabus, we need to study about two index. The first is per capita income index and human development index. So we need to study about this, that every process which we have already studied in chapter 6, the process of per capita income index we have studied. Okay. And I have given you the different stages. Now open your book, copy all of you, where you people have studied the process of economic growth. Under that, you people have studied step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. All that is nothing but per capita income index. So per capita income index explanation and the notes I have given already in chapter 6. We start this chapter with the limitation of per capita income index. That what are the disadvantages are there in the per capita income index. And what is the process of per capita income index? What are the different stages of per capita income index that we have studied in chapter 6? Okay. So tomorrow, I'm going to start this chapter. I'll give you the notes. Today, actually, I have explained to you people the base of this chapter. Okay. The base of this chapter. That what we all are going to study under this chapter. So all of you write now. Write chapter 7 and write down the name of the chapter, and under that a brief introduction you write. Then tomorrow onwards I'm going to start the chapter. So write down the name of the chapter, chapter 7, and name of the chapter, and then write. There are, under this write, start the chapter with this. There are several indicators. There are several indicators available with us to measure economic development, right? There are several indicators are available with us to measure economic development, full stop. Then write, the main indicators of economic development are generally classified into two categories. Write down, the main indicators of economic development are generally classified into two categories. After this, give a dash. And after dash, write number 1. Number 1, income-based measure. Number 1, under this you write, income-based measure of economic development. Income-based measure of economic development, which is called per capita income index. Repeating again, what you are going to write in the first one, income-based measures of economic development, which is called per capita income index. Under bracket, the short form write down PCI. What is the short form of per capita income index? PCI. Okay, now second point, write down quality of life base measure of economic development. Quality of life base measure of economic development, which includes two index. After index, give a dash and write. Number A, physical quality of life index, under bracket PQLI. Number A, write physical quality of life index, under bracket PQLI. And number B, human development index, under bracket HDI. Number B, Human Development Index under bracket HDI, full stop. Okay. So what you people have written that there are several indicators of economic development, but the main indicators of economic development are classified into two categories. The first is income-based measure of economic development. The second is quality of life-based measure of economic development. Income-based measure of development has an index which is called per capita income index. Quality of life measure of economic development has two index, that is PQLI, that is physical quality of life index, and HDI, that is human development life index. Okay, fine. Now, after this, change the paragraph and then write. In this chapter, we will study two important indicators of economic development. In this chapter, we will study two important indicators of economic development. Give a dash, write number one. Number one is per capita income index and number two is human development index. These two are there in your syllabus. PQLI is not in your syllabus. So these two we have to study, and per capita income index is nothing but the process of economic growth which we have studied already in chapter 6. So what you people have to do today you will study that per capita income index, children, all the processes, all the stages. Okay, and then tomorrow I'll start this chapter with the limitation of per capita income index, the first topic, and then after the limitation I'll start with the human development index. Okay, the human development index, the whole process and the stages. All right, that I'll complete it tomorrow. Okay, so for today only this much. Thank you, children.